California sober. I don't think you have to drink to have a good time. But I do think that if you're not going to, I'm from the Northeast. Please have the decency to be a little aggressive and a little anxious, even if you're not drinking. That's just what makes me feel at ease. I prefer to hang out with people who are like Massachusetts sober. And Massachusetts sober is when you're legally ordered to quit drinking. Because you keep crashing your car into a Dunkin' Donuts. And then sometimes, 17 years later, you get back together with Jennifer Lopez. Sometimes. It's not always. But sometimes. I've used my time over the last year and a half or so to reflect, right? I had a lot of time by myself, a lot of time with just me and my wife together. I've been trying to be a healthier person, physically and mentally. And I've really come to terms with embracing my physique. And I know even physique, don't clap, it just makes it sadder. Makes it sound like I lost an arm in a mine accident. So brave. Because I do realize physique is kind of a lofty word for this kind of loose affiliation of carbon. I realize visually speaking, I have more of a physoosh. Kind of the posture and texture of a croissant. The whole thing, top to bottom, I've been coming to terms with, coming to peace with. I started going bald young, which I recommend if you're gonna do it. Started losing my hair at 19, and if you're gonna do it like that. Because when you start thinning out at 19, you know the man you're going to be. There's no chance I was gonna hit 25 and be like, you know, if I started doing crunches, grew my hair out, I could be Keanu Reeves. I hit 25, I was like, if I do 10 or 12 bicep curls, and my scalp is smooth and symmetrical enough, I could grow into kind of a Tucci thing. That's the best I can do. I recently really had this moment. I had this epiphany where I felt so much better about my human body. And this moment happened thanks to Jason Momoa. Do you guys know the actor Jason Momoa? Yeah. Okay, most of you know. Some people are hooting, they know for real, for real. Some people are hollering, they're like, yeah, we know Jason Momoa. He makes us say woo when he's not even here. Jason Momoa, if you don't know, he was sexy Aquaman. He was on Game of Thrones. He looks like if The Rock opened a craft brewery. And in the not too distant past, Jason Momoa was on vacation, which I read about. He didn't text me. And during this vacation, he was jogging shirtless on the beach, which is a very difficult exercise. I don't even like walking on the beach. I get 40 feet, I'm like, I'm not gonna make it to the ocean. Let's go back and find a pool. But Jason Momoa was jogging on the beach, which is very difficult. It's like having a treadmill that disintegrates beneath you. And in these pictures that the paparazzi posted of him jogging on vacation, he looked a little different than we're used to seeing him. We're used to seeing Jason Momoa with the 6 abs, right? The most abs. Like a pan of sexy dinner rolls. And in these pictures, he just had kind of the one big oval ab, like a sexy loaf of bread. And all these entertainment sites posted these pictures of Jason Momoa, and they all had similar commentary in the headlines. It was all like, Jason Momoa runs on the beach, rocking his dad bod. And excuse me, whose dad? Zeus? Is that who we're talking about? In no world does Jason Momoa have a dad bod. If anything, it's a you're not my real dad bod, which is the body type of the first guy your mom hooks up with after the divorce. And maybe you're not ready for her to be back out there, but she is, so let her have it. She raised you, she deserves to be happy. Thank you. People love moms in this crowd. That must have hurt Jason Momoa so much to read those headlines, right? Dad bod. And don't get me wrong, he's not the first celebrity to be criticized for how they look. Women get it way worse all the time, but it's probably the first time this happened to him. Jason Momoa spends so much time keeping his muscles firm and shiny, which I think is part of it from all the pictures. And then one day, he eats a Danish while he watches the sun rise over the ocean on vacation, and now he has a dad bod. That must have hurt his heart. It did make me feel amazing to read those headlines. It did. It did. I felt incredible. Because from time to time, I've also been told that I have a dad bod. And now whenever I hear that, all I can think is that I have the same body type as Jason Momoa. Just a little two-man bod squad. 2 peas in a bod pod, me and J-Mo. The only way those headlines could have been better for my personal self-esteem is if they'd continued. And through his shorts, we could see the outline of his totally normal Jewish penis with nothing to worry about at all. Nothing to be self-conscious about. Josh. I've been married for 4 years, together with my wife for 7. Yeah, that's nice. I love that. It's the best. But comparative to some of my friends, I have a relatively low slumber number. Which is what you should call that. Makes it sound like maybe you paid for brunch the next morning. I'm just saying, if my body count, and again, I'm sorry for using that expression, but if my body count was an actual body count of human lives, I would be a monster, sure. A serial killer, technically, I have a type. But there wouldn't be like a Netflix documentary about me. You would find out about me from like a link on someone else's Wikipedia page. And it would be red because there wouldn't be that much information. You'd click it. There wouldn't be a cool nickname, right? Like Jack the Ripper or Ted Bundy. It would be like Josh Gondelman, AKA The Missionary. Also known as the Boston got a little weird when she asked him to strangle her. Was not a nice person. Citation needed. As I mentioned, I've been with my wife for 7 years, married for 4. It's the best. I love it so much. I love her so much. That's the important part, right? Yeah, that's the important part. Just growing together over the years is so wonderful. I think people give marriage a bad name. Sometimes they talk trash about it. But even the little things, like after 7 years with the same person, I now have all these incredibly strong opinions about topics I know nothing about. Because my wife has thoughts. And she shares them with me because communication is the bedrock of a strong relationship. And I love and trust her, so now her opinions are also my opinions. And what a joy to know something without ever having to learn it. Here's an example. Have I ever listened to an entire album by recording artist Fiona Apple from front to back? Someone has. Okay, you're the same person from earlier. So we know you're against body count, pro Fiona Apple, and as a member of this audience, in favor of moms and dogs. I think I'm starting to create a profile. Have I ever listened to an entire album by recording artist Fiona Apple? Sadly, no. I've never had the pleasure. I apologize to that one woman in the back. But do I deep in my heart believe that Fiona Apple is a genius? Yeah, absolutely. That's something I think. No doubt about it at all. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? Here's how far I'll take it. If you don't think Fiona Apple is a genius, I think you're sexist. That's something I believe in my heart. I can't prove that in any way. That's just a trust fall into my wife's brain. It's so great being together a long time with the same person. 7 years, our friends have started to become friends with one another. Our families are merging into this one loving family. And I now have all these enemies I'm still meeting for the first time. Because my wife has people she doesn't care for. They don't disappear just because we got together. Now everywhere I go in the world, I just meet new people to hate, like it's The Legend of Zelda. Showing up at unfamiliar buildings, fighting with people I've never seen before, over reasons I'm learning in the moment. I'll be at a work function with my wife, I'll be like, oh, that couple over there, they seem so sweet. I was talking to them, they seem great. We should have brunch sometime. My wife's like, nuh-uh. In 2007, she told me my haircut was fascinating. And I say, well, I hope her car flips over on the way home. And she says, I love you too, because that's part of what love is, right? Her enemies are my enemies. I mean that sincerely. That was in my wedding vows. I'm not remotely joking about that part. Because I feel like if you're gonna make a vow, make it a vow, right? Revenge, that's a vow. You can enforce it with a sword. Richer, poorer, sickness, health, that's nice, but I'll extend those courtesies to my landlord if we're being honest. I did. I stood in front of my wife on our wedding day and I said, I vow to help you destroy your enemies by means both large and small, over slights including those that are imperceptible to others, even me. And then after I said that, I made hard eye contact with her grandmother, gave it one of these, because I don't decide who my wife's enemies are. She's a grown woman. That's up to her, okay? I just met you, old lady. She's my everything. So protect your neck, Nana. Watch yourself. You get one warning. Thank you. Thank you. Interesting. Love mothers, hate grandmothers. What a twist. I can't read you, audience, and I like that. My wife is a big reader. She's very smart, which I love and admire about her. I think that's so, I just like really look up to her intelligence and her curiosity. I'm medium smart. I'm not like one of those dumb husbands from commercials. A guy just standing by the side of the highway in the rain on his cell phone like, honey, I locked the keys in the car and the baby's in the car with the keys and the car's rolling down the highway with the baby and the keys. And the wife is like, but honey, we have Geico. And then it's like, Geico, for you and your idiot husband. That's not me, I'm medium smart. My wife is very smart though, and the gap is widening by the day. Because every night at bedtime, we read together in bed, side by side for half an hour. And my wife reads a book, whatever book she wants. I'm very progressive that way. And I know what you're thinking, Josh, even a novel, but that could bring her blood to a feminine boil. Yeah, I know, but if my baby wants fiction, my baby gets fiction. That's the kind of man I am. It's 2021. Women can read The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen if they want to. Yeah, they can. So we read in bed for half an hour. My wife reads a book, as I was saying. Not the same book every night. She finishes and she starts a new one. I don't know why I'm explaining books to you. After you all knew what The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen was. If you don't know what books are by this point in the show, we have bigger problems. I wouldn't even know how to explain what books are to a whole group of people just like, a book. It's like a magazine, but bigger and forever. Does that help? She reads a book, and the whole time, I'm just scrolling ceaselessly, aimlessly through Twitter on my phone, which is the not reading of reading now. So every night, my wife gets 30 minutes smarter, more compassionate, more empathetic and worldly. And I just grow 30 minutes furious at things I can't control and often don't understand. Every night before bed, my wife will look at me and say something like, Josh, I just read the most beautiful passage about what it means to live a life of purpose and wonder. And then it's a peck on the cheek, lights out, eyes closed, day over. For her. I'm still rocking and rolling. Just staring at my phone, awake and furious, like, interesting, because I just read that Elon Musk invented a $15 million laser that turns hats into visors. Scissors do that. Why did he invent scissors with a carbon footprint? And then my wife drifts off into a blissful, peaceful slumber while I'm just staring at the ceiling, seething like, does it also turn jeans into jorts, or is that a separate laser? I have not slept in 11 years. We spend all day with family, friends of family, extended family, and just like now, it's nice to be together, right? It's just so good to be around people sharing an experience together. But it was an emotionally grueling day. So at the end of the day, it's about dusk, we borrow my mom's car, and we decide to head into the city from the suburbs and have a couple drinks with some old friends, kind of lighten the psychic toll a little bit. And we get in the car, and we turn on the radio, and terrestrial radio in Boston is abysmal. It goes up to like 1997, jumps forward to the Dropkick Murphys song from The Departed, and then just abruptly stops forever. That's all they have. So we turn on the radio, and the first song we hear is the song Caress Me Down by the band Sublime, which is a bad song. Sublime overall is kind of like a blacklight Che Guevara poster that you listen to. And Caress Me Down is specifically a tough song. It's a story told in 2 languages, and that story is a guy sleeps with a young woman, and then he sleeps with her again in Spanish. And the Spanish time she gets pregnant, and I don't know if that's racist, but it feels racist to me. So. Caress Me Down comes on, and my girlfriend, now wife, starts singing it super loud in my face. Like as a joke. This isn't where I find out she's a Sublime super fan. She's got like a lower back tattoo. She's singing right in my face, just like so aggressive. I'm laughing so hard, it's so funny. The lyrics are terrible. They rhyme the word sensitivity with the word horny, and if you're writing a love song and use the word horny, delete draft, start fresh. Love song or any song, you can't have horny in there. Horny's not a song lyric, unless you're Genuine, in which case it is. But otherwise, horny is just what you put in a text message before the eggplant emoji. So she's singing, I'm laughing so hard. She keeps going, right? She's just singing the whole song. She's like, kiss me neck and tickle me fancy. Tickle me fancy? What are you, a horny pirate? You gotta walk the plank on out of this car. I have to reevaluate things. So we get into the city, we have a couple drinks with some old friends. It's just so lovely to have this experience of like lightening the day a little bit with some good friends, some old friends, people I hadn't seen in years, but it felt like we'd been together the day before. It was wonderful. So we get in the car to go home after a suitable waiting period. We weren't trying to become Massachusetts sober that evening. And we turn on the radio, and the first song on the radio that we hear is Caress Me Down by Sublime again. At that point, I was like, have I angered a wizard? Do we have but a fortnight to live? What is this omen? What does it portend? And at this point, it's the Spanish part of the song, and she doesn't know any Spanish, so she's not singing, but she's just kind of doing this dance in my face, just like shaking her fist. Like I just swindled her out of half a company we own together. Gondolman, like that kind of vibe. And I just am overcome with love for her, just like the length she's going to make me feel good and happy and cared for. So we get back to my parents' house, and we kind of creep up the stairs because it's late, and we sneak into my bedroom, my childhood bedroom, where we're sleeping in 2 twin beds pushed together, like a couple from a 50s sitcom who almost figured sex out. We get into bed, and I'm so tired. And we're spooning, which this isn't the level that spooning happens at. This is like a dirty prom picture, right? Just like, have a good summer, never change. This isn't where anybody spoons. It's down here. Traditional prom picture. So we're spooning. And my girlfriend whispers so gently, so sweetly, she says, Josh, kiss my neck. And I say, of course. Of course I'll kiss your neck. Anything you want from me. You've been such a wonderful, sweet, loving partner today and through our whole relationship, and anything I can do to reciprocate the love and support you've shown me on this day and every day, I will do for you in a heartbeat without thinking. Kiss your neck, scratch your back, rub your feet, whatever it is. I'm here to support you and love you the way you love me. So I lean in. We're spooning, and I lean in just to put the tiniest, gentlest kiss on the back of her neck, just a physical whisper of a gesture. And just as my lips are about to touch down on the back of her neck, just as they're about, right before, she looks over her shoulder at me and goes, and tickle me fancy, guys! She caressed me, downed me, in my childhood bedroom on the day of my grandmother's funeral. I don't know what they call that where you're from, but in Stoneham, Massachusetts, where I grew up, that's romance. We call that a keeper. I wanted to propose marriage right then and there. I wanted to, but I didn't. I went out, I got her the Spanish language Rosetta Stone. And I told her I would propose after she learned all the words to our wedding song. That's what I told her. But as a man, like one thing that I think would be really nice, but I'll never have an experience of, is I'll never hear a love song with my name in it. Probably not, right? There aren't that many lovely songs with men's names in them. Not every song with a woman's name in it is like a nice song. We've all had our Eminem phase. But there are many just kind of loving, sexy, or tender songs with women's names in them, right? There's Sweet Caroline, Darling Nikki. There's no like Sweet Doug. There's no Darling Steve. If you're hearing a man's name in a song, it's because something has gone terribly awry. Perhaps you're at an Irish funeral and the pipes are calling Danny Boy home. Maybe Major Tom has been lost in space forever and he's not coming back. There's only one instance when you're guaranteed to hear a song with a man's name sung lovingly, and that is when you're listening to a song by Jason Derulo. Because Jason Derulo makes sure to sing his own name in all of his songs because Jason Derulo knows no one's gonna do that for him. And Jason Derulo understands you have to be the key change you want to see in the world. To paraphrase Mahatma Gandhi. You guys laughed at that, but later you'll remember this joke and think, why? Here's another thing. This is another thing that I really am jealous of, another experience that I want to have. I'm jealous of the relationships my female friends have with their hairdressers. Yeah, I said it. I went there. I'm one of those comedians that shoots from the hip. Even if what I'm saying you're not ready to hear. I just speak from the heart. I speak from the gut. Triggered much? Because what I have to say is, I'm jealous of the relationships my female friends have with their hairdressers. It's not the talking during the haircut part. That I could take or leave. What I want so bad, what I'm so envious of, is the part that shows up after the haircut on Instagram. But we all have female friends. Sometimes one will get a haircut, she'll feel really good about it, want to post it on Instagram. It's always a similar genre of photography, right? It's like her and the hairdresser in front of the salon like they bought it together. They're holding that day's newspaper to prove it's not like a sneaky Throwback Thursday situation. And there's always like a sweet, warm caption underneath, like, thanks to Becca at Curls Before Wine Salon for the fresh cut and color. Hashtag new do, new you. And then underneath, Becca the hairdresser posts like, gorgeous. We all know what you're doing, Becca. That's incredibly transparent. But still, it's so nice, right? There's so much to like there. There's having a friend, feeling good about your appearance, supporting a local business. A lot to enjoy in that Instagram post. As a bald white guy, I'll never share that experience. I have a very different relationship with my hair care professional, starting with the fact that I've been going to the same dude for 4 years and I don't know his name. Because he won't tell it to me. And I don't think that's the only secret he's keeping from me. In fairness, he doesn't know my name either. He doesn't know what my name is. That's because he doesn't care at all. Could not care less. And why would he? I show up once a month, mostly forehead. I give him $25 to make me all the way forehead. And then I disappear for a full lunar cycle. Why would he invest in that relationship? It's like learning the name of a moth. I don't even know the name of the barber shop. That's how far it goes. I know it's a Russian spot. I'm pretty sure it's a front for a uranium mine, but I can't prove it yet. I didn't look up barbershops before I started going to this one. I don't need reviews. I don't have a Yelp-worthy hairline. Reviews are just gonna slow me down in making a choice. Right? The only way to really mess up cutting my hair would be to straight up chop my head off, is what it would take. And even then I'd be like, wow, you really went for something. 2 stars there. That's a fascinating haircut. If we're being real. Here's how I started going to my barber shop. I was walking down the street in my neighborhood, feeling a little fluffy around the back and sides. And when I don't cut my hair for a while, I look like I'm about to invent time travel. So I see the spinning barber pole in the distance. And I think, I wonder if they take walk-ins. I approach the shop. I open the door. A guy in the back looks me in the eyes and goes, "Yes, we do." And I was like, "Well, you're my barber now." I don't care what the reviews say. If you can read my mind, you're gonna cut my hair till one of us dies. I've been thinking about it though, and I think even if I had all the requisite information, I don't think I would post about my barber on Instagram. And it's not because I'm withholding. I try to be generous where I can. And it's not because there's like a machismo in play stopping me from considering my appearance in the context of this other man. I understand that masculinity is a prison, even with these feeble bars. Feeble bars, of course, also my rap name. The reason I don't think I would post about my barber on Instagram is because he seems like he has enemies. And I don't want to be the jerk who alerts them to his whereabouts. I just post a photo of the two of us on Instagram. I'm smiling, feeling good about my new haircut. He's frowning like he has been since the old country. The address of the barber shop plainly in view. I post underneath like, "Thanks, big guy," because that's what you do when you don't know a dude's name, right? You assure him that he's physically larger than you. "Thanks, big guy. Thanks, boss. Now he's in charge of me at work for some reason." "Thanks for the usual business up top. Hashtag same do, same me, I guess." And then underneath, a guy named Dimitri I've never seen before in my life just posts, "Sergey, I found you at last. Your days are numbered. Also, gorgeous." It's like, I'll take that compliment. You have no reason to lie. I want to tell you a story before I go about my wedding. And it's a good story. It's about the second best moment of my wedding. And I should set the stage by saying our wedding was really fun. It was like a little unconventional, like we didn't let anyone speak. Not like overall, like it wasn't like a hipster meditation wedding. We weren't like, "No vows, just vibes, brah." We didn't let anyone give toasts. Because I feel like half the toasts you're gonna hear at any wedding are gonna be terrible, right? Often from men. Because again, I don't think that's something a lot of straight guys, we give ourselves this emotional access to be tender with our friends. So it just comes out real aggressive. Bridesmaid speeches, almost always really great, right? They're all very similar, but they're all very lovely. Every bridesmaid speech is like, "Lisa, first of all, you are a goddess. That white dress, I can't even right now. You are like a living, breathing Beyonce. Hashtag flawless, hashtag woke up like that. And it is so beautiful to be here with you while your childhood dream comes to life. Just the way the Ouija board said it would when we were 9 years old. Congratulations, I love you so much." Then they kiss with tongue. Women do that when they're friends. Not a big deal, no stigma, just pals being pals. It's nicer that way. Every groomsman speech I've ever witnessed may as well have been delivered by the groom's worst enemy on planet Earth. Every dude comes out just like, "Hey, Matty! Fat Matt. Count Crapula." See, we call him that because one time in elementary school, he pooped his pants on Halloween in a Dracula costume. Remember that? I know you do, Count. Anyways, I never thought you was gonna be married. I never thought you were gonna be married. I swear to God, never thought in a million years. I always assumed you would have died years ago while having sex with a candle up your microwave. That's just what I thought was gonna happen. What you said, be honest. I'm talking from the heart. Shut up, Fitzy, let me finish. I'm being nice. It's a funny story. This guy. Anyways, I don't know whether you got like some kind of cage you keep this woman in at night. Or like a complicated financial arrangement that makes it difficult for her to flee you, but either way, bro, you locked it down, so congratulations, no homo. Where the bridesmaids at? And that's every groomsman speech I've ever witnessed. And every single time I'm like, that guy's the best man? He's the best one of those you've ever met? What are your other friends, scarecrows full of bees? Your life has been a nightmare.